What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, the channel where speaking nothing but the truth is the order of the day. Hashtag keeping it real, hashtag no sugarcoating. In my last week's video, we talked about the process of becoming a nurse in the United States compared to the process of becoming a nurse in the UK. I also compared the salaries of nurses who are just starting in the United States and in the United Kingdom. So many people became concerned about the cost of living in the UK compared to the United States, because at times the salary can just be a figure, but those figures really don't mean anything. What I mean by that is, for example, at some point in time we were once billionaires, but that $1 billion note could not even buy a loaf of bread. I also said it to you guys that when you are working in the United States, once you are done with the agency, you are going to be making good monies because you are home and dry. And today I'm going to be revealing the salary of a nurse who is done with the agency, and I'll compare that salary with mine and also compare the cost of living for that nurse as well as my cost of living. Okay, before we get into it, may you kindly subscribe to my channel, the channel where we keep things real. For now, let's get into it.
Alright, they asking for the queen. I'm a bad bitch, she's a savage. Look back while I twerk. No comparison. I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty, yeah. Acting stupid, what's happening? What's happening?
So I'm going to start by revealing the two salaries, one for a nurse in the United States and one for a nurse in the United Kingdom. I'm going to start by comparing the two salaries so that you have an idea of how much one can take home at the end of the month, and we'll compare that salary with the expenses. This is a one-day pay for an individual who works in the USA as a travel nurse. So when they work just one day, as you can see there, it's written 12.73 hours worked. They make $873.30. That's just for one day. Whereas this is my pay slip for a full week. As you can see, my name written at the bottom there, Pauline Moyo, and I would have worked 5 days. As you can see there, 36, 12, 12. For those 5 days, I make £902 as shown at the bottom there. However, when the same individual in the United States works for 4 days, as you can see there, 40 hours regular pay and 10 hours overtime, the individual takes home $3,404 in just 4 days. So guys, you have seen the salaries, and the thing with my salary is that is not the salary that I would typically make on a weekly basis. I literally have to sweat some certain areas that I never knew that I could sweat for me to actually make that amount of money, and it's not practical for me to work those number of days on a weekly basis. I'll die from fatigue or burnout. So now we are going to be comparing the rent in the United States compared to the United Kingdom. The nurses who work in the United States actually choose to go and work in the cheapest states in the United States. So today I'm going to be talking about New Mexico, which is one of the cities in the United States. I'll be comparing the rentals for New Mexico, a place called Abacook, and the rentals for Belfast, where I live in Northern Ireland. In Abacook, you can get a 4-bedroom house for $750 per month. However, people choose to live in the so-called safer neighborhoods, which are slightly expensive, where a 3-bed house is $1,250. However, if you are looking at the size of the house and how spacious it is and how beautiful it is on the inside, the $1,250 is really worth it. For a house like this here in London, you can pay double the amount. Now, let us look at rentals in Belfast. In Belfast, it's the cheapest in UK. You can get a 2-bed house for £440. However, if you want a fancy house, you can get a 3-bed for £900. And if you are looking at £900 per month, if you look at the inside of the house, it is quite spacious, but not as spacious as that one in America. And the amount of money that you pay at the end of the month is really worth it. But bear in mind that Northern Ireland is the cheapest in the whole of UK. In other places, it is slightly expensive. It can be twice as high. Now, let us look at the cost of utilities in Abercook. It is said that the basic utilities per month in Abercook cost about $140 altogether. This includes electricity, heating, cooling, water and garbage. This is an average number which can fluctuate based on the size of the apartment or the house and the use of the utilities themselves. Like I always say, in Belfast, we do not pay for any water and council tax. But I have done videos which I'll leave the link in my description so that you see how much the council tax is in other areas in UK. Overall, Abercook is cheaper in everything, that is food, gas, electricity, water, compared to the United Kingdom, because on a monthly basis I pay £100 towards my gas, that is in winter, and of course I do not pay anything for water, but electricity I pay around £60 per month. This is already far more than $140 per month. The only downside which was mentioned about Abercook is the Belfast housing costs 3.2% less than Abercook. However, Belfast is 1% more expensive than Abercook. So basically, Abercook and Belfast are in the same WhatsApp group. The cost of living is the same in both areas with slight insignificant differences. Another thing that we're going to compare is the healthcare system. In the United States, each person is supposed to have a health insurance. Here in Northern Ireland, we do not pay any health insurance. We are consulted by the doctor and we get medication for free in the pharmacies. And even when we get admitted for free. However, in some hospitals in places like England, the consultation fee is free, but they have to pay for their medication. And then in the United States, each individual is supposed to pay health insurance, and health insurance starts from around $62, $70 and above per month. So on average, each individual can pay $70 towards their health insurance, and depending on what they want in their health insurance, they can even pay more. But on average, the minimum amount that they pay is $62. So now we are going to be talking about the transport system, and I'm going to be showing you the kind of car which this friend of mine drives. So this friend of mine in the United States drives a Jeep Wrangler 2020. This is my dream car. It's a beautiful car, and I'm going to be sharing with you what the costs are for a month. So this is him. He is my friend, and we were processing together to go to the USA, but I was stopped in my tracks because of working in the School of Nursing and not meeting the requirements. Ladies, he is single. You can send in your CVs. And this is the old car that I drive, an Alfa Romeo Giulietta, which is a probably 2012 or 2013 model there. So I'm going to be comparing the cost of these two cars
shortly.
So guys, for a Jeep Wrangler 2020, the monthly installments are just $86 per month, and the car insurance is $100 per month. And then for an old car like mine, if you want an Alfa Romeo Giulietta, which is a very old car, for monthly installments you can pay up to £300 per month. And my insurance it was initially £200 per month, but after a year it went down to £130 per month. In the United States, they do not pay road tax, but here I pay road tax of £30 a year, but others pay £30 per month depending on the type of car that you have. Should you wish to have a car like a Jeep Wrangler here in the UK, you can pay up to £800 per month in installments. However, what you have to know is that there are cheaper cars here in the UK, and there are also cheaper cars in the United States. You can get a car for even £1,200 or £1,400, and what's important is that that car can take you from point A to point B. And then when it comes to fuel, I guess it all depends with the type of car that you're driving. I drive a diesel car, and per given day I drive roughly 50 kilometers to and from work, and I use roughly £120 per month. And the fuel prices in UK and in the United States are more or less the same. Then the last thing that we're going to talk about is children going to school. When it comes to children's education, I spoke to one of my friends in Maine who said they do not pay fees for primary and secondary education. However, most people in the United States, they prefer taking their kids to private schools because we all know the kind of place the United States is. We know that there are gangsters, languages they speak and all that is not top. So if you want your child to be well disciplined, learn proper language, not get involved in things like drugs and all that, you have to send them to private schools. And this is how much the private schools cost. And then in UK, we do not pay for primary school or secondary school fees. Education is free in UK, and the crime rate in UK is better compared to America. I hope this video has given you a rough idea on the cost of living in UK compared to the cost of living in the United States, compared to the salaries in the US and the salaries in the United States. So now you can make an informed decision. Do you go and work in the United States, or do you go and work in the UK? The ball is in your court. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly like, subscribe and share. I'll see you in my next video.